Okay, good evening, everyone. Just going to hold off for a couple more minutes and give everyone a chance to join us. Okay, welcome everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. My name is Angela Merrow. I am the assistant principal of two of our elementary school buildings, Nut Swamp School and Harmony School. I also coordinate the preschool program for the district. Welcome to our Middletown Township Integrated Preschool Open House. We're happy to have you with us. Tonight, we're going to be providing you with an overview of our program and step-by-step instructions for enrolling and registering, applying for the program for the 2022-2023 school year. We ask if you have any questions as we go along to please add them to the chat. And if we do not answer them throughout the presentation, we will take a moment at the end to hit on all of those questions. I'm just going to start by taking a moment to introduce the staff members we have with us tonight. If you just want to say a quick hello when I say your name, I think then you should pop up on the screen, give everyone a chance to see you. I'm going to start with Dr. Michelle Tiedemann, who is our District Director of Special Education.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming this evening.
Susan Calabro, a Student Information Systems and Enrollment Manager.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight.
We have the principals of our 4 elementary schools that house preschool. Cindy Wilson from Ocean Avenue.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome.
Eric Paulson from Harmony.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our good night. Thank you.
Maureen McCormack from Middletown Village. Maureen may not have joined us yet, so we'll give her a moment. Mike Milando from Fairview. Okay, we also have our preschool teachers with us. From Ocean Avenue, we have Miss Jessica Borsilli.
Good evening.
Christy Rosamilia.
Hi, everybody.
Jackie Reynolds.
Good evening, everyone.
From Harmony, Laura Stratton.
Hi, everyone.
Megan Esposito.
Hello.
Dominique LaCava.
Hi, everyone.
Michelle Ventricelli.
Hi, everyone.
Brianna Yahara.
Hello.
Laura Slade. From Middletown Village, Becky Curzan.
Hi.
Nicole Davis.
Hi, everyone.
And from Fairview, Bryn Lust.
Hi, guys.
Rachel Mescal.
Good evening, everyone.
Such a great staff of preschool teachers. Okay, continuing with the presentation. Just want to provide you with an overview of the program. In Middletown, our preschool consists of 13 inclusive classrooms that are spread across the 4 buildings we just mentioned: Fairview, Harmony, Middletown Village, and Ocean. Okay, so when we say that they are inclusive classrooms, what we mean is that they are classrooms that consist of children of mixed abilities. They are also multi-age classrooms, which combine our 3- and 4-year-olds. In each classroom, we have a dual certified teacher. All of our teachers are certified in both early childhood education and special education. There will also be a classroom paraprofessional in each class, which is nice because we limit the classrooms to about 15 students, and it provides a great student to adult ratio. The hours that our program runs are Monday through Friday. Our AM session begins at 8:45 and ends at 11:15. Our PM session begins at 12:15 and dismisses at 2:45. Now, you may have heard that we are in the process of piloting an integrated full-day program. That is true. We are starting our pilot actually next week. It's an initiative that the district is taking on in the hopes that we can move forward and expand it across all of our buildings. At this point, it will only be 1 classroom in one of our buildings, just so that we can get to know more about the program, assess, and figure out our next steps for moving forward. We hope to continue with that pilot for next year. However, until we get a chance to open it up this year and fully assess, we do not know what steps we will be taking at this time to bring it into next year. So while you may be very interested in that program, understandably so, we would encourage you to apply to the half-day program just as usual, because any students that are selected to join our full day will come out of the pool of our half-day students. As we get more information about how we plan to move forward, of course, we will forward that information on to you. But for now, we are going to talk about the program as it exists today, which is that half day with an AM or a PM session. We will be accepting students who will be 3 or 4 years old by October 1st, 2022. That is a strict cutoff date. Any students who are turning 3 after October 1st will have to wait to the following school year to enroll. But if children are 3 or 4 by October 1st, we will accept them into our program. We strongly suggest or recommend that children be potty trained. However, it is not a requirement. Now, starting tomorrow in the morning, you will notice on the district website that our lottery application will be posted. So step 1 to getting your child into the program would be to fill out that lottery application, which you can do either by paper and mailing it in. An address on where to send it is included in the application, or you can fill it out, scan it, and email it. Again, an email address is included in the application as well. The process from there is that we will collect all the applications we receive up until 3 p.m. on Friday, March 4th. From there, we will compare the number of applications we receive against the number of spots that we have available for next year. And if necessary, we will hold a lottery. The lottery will be held on Wednesday, March 9th. And from there, if you are selected through the lottery, you will receive an acceptance letter. If you are not selected from the lottery, then you will receive a waitlist letter. Don't be too discouraged if you do get a waitlist letter. We are able to honor lots of waitlist families as the year goes on, and families make alternate decisions and plans for their children. So don't be too discouraged by a waitlist letter. So we're going to begin tonight with a sneak peek into our preschool program. We have a short video to play for you. It is narrated by the principal of Ocean Avenue School, Cindy Wilson, and it will let you see what our classrooms look like and what the day-to-day experiences of our children are. Going to play that for you now.
Hello, Middletown, and welcome to our preschool open house. Preschool is an amazing time for young children. It's such a journey and not to be looked at as a race. Our Middletown programs are developmentally appropriate. They are rooted in the philosophy that suggests students are active learners from birth, and they learn from a variety of interactions with people, their environment, and their experiences. Middletown has embraced the creative curriculum, one of the state-approved mandated curriculums to support the active learning that our students interact with each day. Each classroom is designed to facilitate active learning. Center areas that depict opportunities for choice. Students select where they would like to work or play, and we interchange those words because a child's work is their play. The teachers are facilitators in this program. They engage with students and they extend their learning and their language and their experiences. They make them appropriate for each child. There's an element of intentional teaching that occurs in each classroom where you set the room up in such a way that supports curiosity and learning. Any activity that a child selects is an opportunity for the teacher to join them. Talk about what they know, what are they thinking, what do they notice, and increase their knowledge. Our preschool teachers are certified in early childhood education and special education, and they have the support of a paraprofessional. The daily routine supports students and enables them to know what's coming next. A consistent daily routine provides them with a framework in which they can successfully engage and interact in the day. In Middletown, we embrace the development of the whole child. We look at them in terms of all of their cognitive ability, physical ability, social emotional capacities, self-help skills. Daily, our students are graded upon arrival. Their first steps of independence begin then. They are greeted by friendly staff, teachers, paraprofessionals, security guards, as they make their way to start their day. Children are provided with a consistent daily routine that helps and supports that independence. And that framework provides them with the opportunity to know what's coming. And how powerful is that? Students are active learners and they make choices. How are they going to spend the time during that day? There's a variety of activities that go on all day long that support the development of the whole child. It's really about looking at them as this one unique, developing individual personality with vast needs. They have areas of strength and areas that need a little more support. Our teachers are very keen at providing the support that each student needs. Please join us as we take a walk through the daily schedule and you visit the center areas that your students have access to. We might find them in the blocks, the dramatic play area, toys and games, tied to math, art, listening and writing, sand and water, music and movement, outdoor and discovery. At this time, our teachers would like to take the opportunity to share a little bit about each segment of the day. Hello, Middletown, and
Okay, at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Wilson and some of our teachers who will describe for you all of the centers that students participate in their day in preschool.
Good evening once again. And we already talked about the importance of a daily schedule, the importance of a routine. And while the basic components are there, it may look different in each classroom depending on how the teacher structures her day. But the most important part is that there is a daily routine, it remains consistent, and there is some kind of visual board that the students can look at and refer to. So you'll see we used to have a hand washing where students come in and wash their hands. We have circle, centers, and small group. There's a cleanup time. Cleanup is really important as well because everything in the classroom is organized and labeled with bins and pictures and words. So students know where things are to be returned to. Really builds in some natural sense of sorting and classification. So there really is that intentional teaching piece. There's always a read aloud and a story, and they pack up and they get outside. So while it may look different in terms of the order, the elements are the same. So I'm going to turn it over to Jessica, who I think is going to speak about our circle time. Jess, you might have to unmute yourself.
No, it's me, Jackie.
Oh, Jackie, okay.
Good evening, everyone. So we have our circle time or a large group. It's rotated between, so it occurs pretty quickly after arrival. The meetings are kept short, ranging anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes, depending on age of the children in the group and as well as how interested they are in the current discussion. The large group meetings provide them the experience to just have a sense of belonging in the group or in the classroom. It helps them practice their communication skills as well as ideas and feelings. It also provides them with a chance to talk about the topics that interest them. So our large groups, we have two separate ones. We have one in the morning when they first come in, and another one before they leave. The first one of the day covers a variety of topics, such as like what they did the previous day, if anyone wants to share any fun things they may have done over the weekend, or even something simple like, you know, sharing their new shoes that they've gotten. The meetings start in a similar way with a greeting song, maybe a finger play poem, or a name recognition activity. This time is also used as an opportunity to take attendance and have the children count how many children are in school compared to versus like how many are still at home. A majority of our large group discussion is based on the current theme or study that we use from the creative curriculum. And we also utilize a question of the day with this, where the children typically answer a question based on the day's discussion. So they're able to take their names and then move it under the appropriate answer that they feel it best fits the answer to the question. Weather is also discussed. It's done a little differently in every classroom. So it may be a chart, it may be a pin or a clip, but we usually try to talk about as much as we can, especially since they're just coming in from outside at that time. New materials also be introduced during this time that may have been brought into the classroom or go along with the new study. During this time, we also create various charts. So we use them to help gauge their prior knowledge on a new study or just see where they are so we know how to kind of steer our teaching to the appropriate level. In the group time, again, we do again before dismissal, so it encourages them to reflect on the day's events and provide closure to the school day. They're asked to briefly discuss what they did and allows a discussion of what will occur at the next school day. The meetings usually end with a goodbye song or a poem and another read aloud. The second group meetings before dismissal also helps the children remember what they did during the day. So it's fresh in their brain. So when they come home, they can share that information with you. So they can just kind of reflect on their day and let you know what they did.
Hi, I'm Becky Krizan from Middletown Village School, and I'm going to talk to you about small group instruction. During the course of each day, teachers conduct a planned small group activity, usually of 3 to 5 kids. These activities are designed with particular learning objectives in mind. The creative curriculum has 38 learning objectives, and for learning development in the creative curriculum, we use those objectives to develop meaningful, hands-on, and most importantly, fun activities for the children to engage the students in learning activities. Some of the activities my class did this week were we made a little snowman. You could see those with their names, or we did them up with numbers. We did bears. We were talking about hibernation, and we talked about bears in caves, and they were putting the bears in the caves, how many bears were in the cave, how many bears were out of the cave. We did triangle, we did shapes with popsicle sticks, and we were just doing that. So again, every day the teacher pulls aside 4 to 5 kids to work on objectives, creative curriculum objectives.
Hi, I'm Christy Rosamilia. I work at Ocean Avenue School, and music and movement is one of my favorite parts of the day, and it can be incorporated throughout whatever objective we're working on. Usually in the morning during a large group, I try to incorporate the instruments for the kids to use when we do the Hello Friend song or the weather song. It can be incorporated as far as cognitive work, like using alphabet songs or anything that has to do with letter sounds, like BINGO, things like that. As far as movement goes, it's, you know, definitely something that can be utilized outside during recess. Even when we're playing the instruments, we can go fast, we can go slower, things like that, so they understand opposites and how that works. It's very good when we're using different types of vocabulary, because when we like for instance, the theme of the week for me this week is pets, and we're doing all kinds of songs about pets and different types of animals, and we can use music to learn about those things. Other areas where music and movement is used is even during social studies or anything like that. If we're talking about a specific place, or even a place that we have gone, we can listen to songs that have to do with that place or that area of the world. And of course, you know, during the arts, singing, dancing, I have a microphone and a little karaoke machine in my class. I love using that. And even the kids that have issues with anything like speech, usually the microphone will get them to sing and talk more when they have the microphone in front of them. You know, other objectives that we use it for could be math and science. Like I said, we use it with the weather song. And during math, like for instance, with Halloween, we did songs like 5 Little Pumpkins, anything with counting or rhyming words that can be used with music would be used in the Music and Movement Center. So thank you.
Hello. So in the Discovery Center, we get to have a lot of fun and explore. We get to focus on living things, physical properties of materials and objects, and Earth's environment and how we care for it. The best way to learn in preschool is through integrated hands-on activities. And during our different studies, we offer many different opportunities for the students to explore in our Discovery Center. For example, during our building study, we may provide a scale and rocks for the children to weigh. During our pet study, we may provide plastic or wooden animals so the children can build different animal homes and habitats. During a gardening study, we may plant our own garden or provide artificial plants and flowers to encourage children to observe and see the different plants. During our insect study, we may watch caterpillars turn to butterflies, and then we do a big butterfly release party, which is always a big hit. We catch bugs and examine them under magnifying glasses. We also go on several scavenger hunts during the school year for all of our studies to search for things in the world around us. We'll hide things in the hallways, and we'll all go out in the hallways with clipboards and try to find the different things on our scavenger hunt. There's so many hands-on activities for preschoolers in this area of science and discovery, and we really enjoy exploring all of these things with the children.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jessica from Ocean Avenue. I'm going to talk about toys and games. The Toys and Games Center includes puzzles, various table blocks, small construction materials such as Legos, board games, and collections of different types of objects. So, for example, I have a bin of bottle caps, I have seasonal mini erasers, I have collections of buttons. When children use toys and games, they explore how things work, they learn to be creative, and they use their imagination. They strengthen their understanding in all areas of development and learning as they play in toys and games. Toys and games supports the social emotional development as children learn to cooperate with one another by taking turns and sharing as they play different games and build designs. They also learn to develop confidence when they use self-correcting toys, such as things like puzzles or stacking rings. Toys and games is also another great area that supports children's physical development. This is a center that we see a lot of practice in hand-eye coordination, things like lacing cards, putting pegs in pegboards. They also string beads and build with interlocking pieces of construction. And these are all things that strengthen and control the small muscles in their hands. So just some things that we're doing in my classroom is, this week, our study is pets. So I don't know if you could see it in the camera, but something that we're working on is, we have a little cat and we're giving him whiskers by kind of just lacing the different pipe cleaners in. We have feathers and we're sticking the little feathers in here, like for the bird feathers. So we add all kinds of different new materials in as our studies, as we change our studies. So I'm gonna just switch it over, move it over to Rachel, who's gonna continue toys and games.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to talk about the literacy, math, cognitive, and language piece of toys and games. Toys and games is such a great place because play is such a valuable experience that supports all of their academic learning. So there's a lot of academic learning that's happening throughout the classroom, but especially during toys and games. They're working on a lot of math skills. We have a lot of Connect toys. So for example, we have like these Connect blocks. And so they just can make patterns with them. Another student might make also, and then they'll compare and measure whose is bigger, whose is smaller, who has more and fewer. So working on those math concepts. We also have these fun Connect toys that they use, all different kinds, and they can build letters, they can build different shapes and also numbers. So that's just a way to also continue to work on those math skills. Literacy, we have some fun letter finding games that they play. We also have, I'm also doing pets. So we have this fun game where I'm going to steal Jessica's cat game, and you could take this one, Jess. This is, they count bones. So they put how many bones, so they roll a dice, they count how much they got, and then they put the bones on their bowl, their dog bowl. So there's so many fun ways. They also work on cognition, which is like sorting and classifying. So, so I have a collection of pets in my toys and games. And so they're counting them, they're sorting them. And we were talking about domesticated and wild. So that goes more into the language piece of development. So they take their different animals that are in there and they take the pets, they separate the pets and the wild animals. So those are some of the concepts we're working on in circle time that we bring into the center. Also, language-wise, they're just talking to each other, they're listening, they have to follow directions if we're playing a game in there. They also have to talk to each other if they see another child is building something that they want to build. So we encourage that language throughout toys and games in all the centers. So again, it's just a lot of fun learning through play. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. The Block Center. So research shows that the inclusion of building blocks in playtime is a key part of early child development, which the creative curriculum not only focuses on the importance of play, but the developmental benefits that positive play between children can create. So through hands-on learning, children develop the understanding that the blocks must be placed in certain ways in order for them to not fall down, how to work together to build certain things based on what study we're doing. And there are also many matching and sorting activities that can be done with blocks. And Miss Laura can talk more about that.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Stratton. As Bryn was saying, the block area is a very fun place for the children to play together. It helps with eye-hand coordination when they're building, fine motor skills, positive social interactions with each other, spatial awareness, concentration in early math and engineering. Some examples of block activities that we use in Middletown are the I Can Build STEM cards, which right now we're doing a winter study. So this is, I can build an igloo, and these are placed in the block area to give students some ideas on what they could build with the blocks. I can build a sled. When we do the farm study, they can build a barn and put the animals in the barn and take them out. And it helps, when they're stuck on what to build, it helps give them ideas. We have different books that are placed in the block area. We have anchor charts, block formation templates such as Lego walls, and pattern block match mats.
Hello, my name is Brianna Yahara. I'm going to talk a little bit about our literacy centers in the program. The Writing Center is a center filled with materials for the children to write and create with. Some of those materials include markers, crayons, letter stamps with stamp pads, stencils, paper, dry erase boards, and expo markers. These materials help the children develop their fine motor skills as they learn to hold writing instruments. The children will draw, create, and even begin to write in the center. They start off by drawing strong scribbles to represent their thoughts. And throughout their time in the program, you might notice them trying to write letters, like letter-like forms. And by the end of the program, they'll be writing letters on their own. Displayed next to the Writing Center is, as you can see in the picture, is an alphabet chart. That way the children are always exposed to the letters, uppercase and lowercase letters. Currently, right now, we are doing a winter study at Harmony. So we have pictures of snowmen and snowballs and pine trees. And under each picture, we will have it labeled with the name so the children could begin drawing the pictures and even writing the words underneath. We also have a library and listening center. In the library center, we have a variety of books that go along with our themes that we read to the children during center time, and then they get a chance throughout the day to pick up a book and read on their own and with their friends. And we also have a listening center where the children can listen to a book either on the iPad or through CD.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nicole Davis. I'm a teacher at the Middletown Village. Dramatic play is an important center in the early childhood classroom. The Dramatic Play Center is a place where children can go pretend, imagine, and be creative. Children can learn and develop skills in all learning domains, such as language, literacy, math, science, social studies, fine and gross motor, and social skills through pretend play. Materials you may find in a Dramatic Play Center are a kitchen with food, utensils, dress-up clothes for the children to act out different community helpers. It can also be transformed into different things for some of the studies that are in the creative curriculum. Right now, for instance, I'm doing a winter study. So one of the options in the Dramatic Play Center is a hot cocoa stand. The students are able to order hot cocoa, pretend they're making it, adding in marshmallows, ringing up their other peers, using the register and incorporating that into our study. Dramatic play also helps children to explore different roles and situations using tools that adults use in everyday life. Children can pretend to be someone or something different from themselves and dramatize situations and feelings for the characters they have. For example, if a child was pretending to be a baker, they're following recipes, they're measuring out ingredients. If they want to make 10 cookies, maybe they need 3 eggs. So they're counting out the eggs to add into their ingredients. The order may also be written down. So incorporating writing into dramatic play as well. They'll also need to ring up their customer for their cookies. So they're using math. Overall, dramatic play teaches and encourages expressive language. Children are motivated to communicate their wishes to their peers and will learn to speak from the perspective of their pretend roles. Thank you.
Sand and water. Do we have Mrs. LaCava or Mrs. Slade ready to speak? Okay, I'm not sure if they may have technical difficulties, but the sand and water tables.
How are you?
Okay, go ahead.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, so the sand and water, it's right now we are doing the winter study. So basically with the sand and water, we allow the students to explore different textures and elements of our themes in the sand and water section. So for example, right now we're talking about the winter in Harmony. So we're talking about ice fishing, and we also incorporate some academics into this this center as well. So the children are fishing or ice fishing for some letters, and some of the ice cubes are mixed in, and they're magnet letters. So the fishing poles with magnets will be able to retrieve the letters, and the students will be asked what letters, maybe what color the letter is. So some imaginative play is in there. Another thing we have done, going with the hot cocoa stand, is that we have a cold cocoa for snowmen. So the snow, pretend snowballs are in the sand and water table, and they're usually the cotton balls or pom-poms that are placed in there, and tweezers or scoopers, so the plastic ones with the dull ends. And the students are encouraged to scoop the pom-poms or the cotton balls and put them into their little cups for their snowmen. So those are some examples of how we use this center in our school classroom.
Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle Ventricelli. I'm a teacher over at Harmony Elementary School. So within the Art Center, the students are able to create and represent their ideas in a visual form. So in the Art Center, we have an array of materials available for the students, such as construction paper, glue, pom-poms, crayons, markers, cotton balls, to allow the students to create whatever they want. Also, we have Play-Doh available every day for the students to help strengthen their fine motor skills, along with Play-Doh toys. And also the students complete various crafts related to our various studies that we do. So right now we are completing a winter study. So the students created some winter trees, or they use their handprints to create a polar bear. Also every day the art easel is available for the students to paint a picture, and we really encourage them to use their language to describe what they painted.
Okay, so there was an overview of all the different sections of a preschool classroom. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Susan Calabro, who will explain to you the registration process.
Yes, good evening. So for pre-K registration, what happens is you will enter the application as Mrs. Merrill outlined before. Once the application is received, you'll receive the approval letter or the waitlist letter, as she explained. If you do receive an approval letter at that time, you can go to our district website and follow the links for registration and register online. Everything is outlined there. Once you register online, our registrar will contact you, and then the school will be in contact with you once it's approved and discuss your placement, etc. If you have any questions, our registrar's email is also on the website. You can feel free to email her at any given time. Also, in addition, I'm sorry, one more thing is all of the required documentation that you'll need for the time of registration is on the registration website. So I would recommend that you review that as you're going to be uploading it during the registration process. Thank you.
So I just want to stress again that there is a difference between the application for preschool and registration for preschool. The application is step one. The application will enter your child into the lottery, and upon their acceptance, you will then register for the program. Registration cannot be completed unless an acceptance letter has been received. And the registrar's email address will be linked in that acceptance letter so that you can reach out with any questions. You will notice on the application that it lists our tuition for the program as $350 a month. Keep in mind that this is based on a yearly tuition rate of $3,500 spread evenly across 10 months. I often get the question of, why is tuition the same for a month like March when there are so many more instructional days than there are in a month like November? But that's because it is just spread equally across the school months. When you receive your acceptance letter, the acceptance letter will also tell you the building that your child will be placed in. It will list either a Class A, a Class B, a Class C, and it will tell you AM or PM session. You will be able to log into the parent portal over the summer to find out your teacher's name. But once you receive your acceptance letter, you will have an idea of the placement for your child. Requests are accepted. They are listed on the application for you. You can choose a building preference. You can choose an AM, PM preference. We really try hard to honor all the requests we receive. However, we just cannot guarantee that those requests will be honored. We have a lot of numbers to balance across our class lists. And so we can't promise, but we do try to honor all that we receive. And when we do honor them in the order in which we receive them. So we track them, we number them, so that way we know which requests were received before others. And that is how we go about honoring those as we build class lists. Any requests can be placed, like I said, on that application or emailed to me. My email address is on the slide. Can also be emailed to our preschool secretary, Ms. Fatima Alves. Her email is listed as well as her phone number. Any additional questions you have about preschool can also be directed to Mrs. Alves at that email or phone number. Yeah. At this time, I do see that we have some questions in the chat. Just going to take a look at what they are. Okay, so we have a parent asking about the classrooms that we see in the video. Are all of the elementary schools set up like that? And I can answer that all of the elementary school preschool rooms are set up in a very similar way. They're not exactly the same because, again, each teacher has certain preferences, but all of the components that you saw in the slides do exist in all of our pre-K classrooms. Again, setup of a room, the theme of a room, decorations in a room are subject to teacher preference, but classroom environments are very similar across our whole preschool. Okay, if you would like your child evaluated for any services, for example, speech, you would send a letter to Mrs. Alves. That would be considered a referral. Once Mrs. Alves receives the referral letter, you will receive a call from our child study team to set up an ID meeting, and the process would continue from there. The referral letter is the important first step. So how do we decide where to place children? Again, we look at those requests. There is a question on the application that asks you whether you have older children in other buildings. We take that into consideration. We'll look at the area of town where you live and try not to place you too far from your home address. We also have to look at the balance of our classrooms as well. So again, we honor things in the order in which we receive. So we're very careful to number applications as we receive them, and we do our best to honor all of the requests that we receive. How many classrooms are in each school? That varies. Ocean Avenue has 3 preschool classrooms. Harmony has 6 preschool classrooms. And Fairview and Village each have 2. Our class sizes max out at 15 children per classroom, and that would be 15 for the AM and then 15 again for the PM. The tuition we discussed, $350 a month. For ESL, we typically do not service preschool children in an ESL program. However, we do try careful placement for those students, so that way they have access to any of the supports that they may need in preschool. We do not offer aftercare or morning care for the preschool program. And again, 15 students per class versus 1 teacher and 1 paraprofessional. At this time, that we cannot offer transportation. It would be on the parent to drive the child to school and pick them up from school. And yes, just to confirm that the tuition is $3,500 a year spread equally over the 10 months of school. So tuition is expected to be paid each month. Generally, what calendar date will parents receive notification of acceptance and waitlist? Well, the lottery is going to be held on March 9th. At that point, we will know our children who have been accepted. From there, we have to build the class lists. So your acceptance letter would likely arrive by the end of March or early April. And at this time, we do not have an option for full day. It is either just AM or just PM. Is the lottery the same process for students who are in early intervention and require speech services? Until a child is classified with an IEP, yes, the lottery process would be the same. If a child does require speech services and has an IEP that indicates so, the speech services would be provided at school.
And also, Ange, if I may jump in,
Sure.
I think if they're coming out of early intervention and they're going to feed into a public school program, and then that becomes part of the special education process. So that would be a different acceptance level, correct?
Yes, correct. Is this for a 3 or 5 day a week program? Our program is a 5 day a week program. Are the staff and teachers vaccinated, and are the kids wearing masks in the classroom? The majority of our staff is vaccinated. At this time, we do follow the state's mask mandates. As of right now, all of our students and staff are wearing masks in the classroom. They do take mask breaks to eat snack. They do take their masks off when they go outside for recess as well. Teachers try and offer mask breaks whenever possible, keeping the students appropriately distanced so that we can maximize our classroom safety. Communication to parents using things like Class Dojo or apps such as Seesaw are a teacher preference. All of our teachers do communicate regularly with parents, but the method that they do so is up to their preference. Morning session runs from 8:45 to 11:15. Afternoon session runs from 12:15 to 2:45. The tuition is for the half day. And yes, we do consider where your older children may be placed in their elementary schools when we place your preschooler.
And we might also want to let them know that this has been recorded and it will be on the district website. So if they missed any portion of this meeting, or if they know someone else who's interested, that they can go to the district website and view the contents of this presentation.
Yes, that's correct. And all of the resources that I have listed here are for you to continue to take a look at and gain some more information, and you can find them on the website within the presentation. Okay, it seems like we've answered all of the questions in the chat. Before we go, we just want to offer a very special thank you to Lindsay Topolewski, who helped us with the video that we put together for you. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really look forward to welcoming your child to school in September. It's a very exciting time, and we know that they're going to have lots of fun and learn so much as well. Thank you again, everyone. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Angela, and everyone.
Great job. Yep.
Thank you to all of our teachers for being with us. You did a great job describing all of your centers.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Bye.
Guys.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Night, John Boy.
Good job, Angela. Good job, Cindy.
Thanks, guys. You did a great job. It's a great program. Keep it up.
Okay, thanks a lot, Cindy.
Great job, Ange. I think it went really well.
I think so.
Yep.
The questions were very good questions.
Yep, good questions. Again, they can, find it again. If they have particular questions, they can just call and ask.